There they go, Miss Kentucky. Jack Roberts.
Bull, the Mad Trucker. I'm here with my good old pal Jack Roberts, and we got some royalty coming to town today. Miss Kentucky. Her name's Clark Davis. She got a crown, you're royalty.
Right.
She's got a crown.
Right.
Okay, we'll see what happens.
I know some of you are anxious to get started. Some of you have other things to go to. I'm going to introduce Dr. James Davis from the Center for Innovation over in Laurel County, and then he is going to introduce our special guest for today. And those of you, if you have kids at home or anybody in your family that would like an autograph, we're going to be able to do those in a little bit as well.
Thank you, Mr. Gray. Folks, I'm so pleased to see you here today. I know it's a busy day for students, and you're in classes and studying. I appreciate you taking the time today to share some time with us. We're so privileged and honored to have Clark Davis, Miss Kentucky 2015, here in our community to talk with you and share a few ideas about hope and inspiration and working hard and being persistent, and that success can happen, but you have to really want to work hard at it. And with that being said, Clark Davis, Miss Kentucky 2015.
So I'll try not to take too much of y'all's time. I know that we want to get to autographs and getting to actually talk to one another. But I do just want to kind of take a second to say thank you guys for being here, for taking your classes, for doing well in school and getting to where you are. I'm in college too, so I completely understand how hard it is, how hard every single day is. When I was in the 3rd grade, I was diagnosed with something called dyslexia, which is a hereditary neurological learning difference. So my brain has a hard time processing information. So like the way that a person would normally see that this says Kentucky, my brain sometimes will see the letters in this order: E-N-U-C-T-K-Y-K. That's like how dyslexia works. So in the 3rd grade, I found out that I had this, that my brain doesn't, and nor will it ever, be able to correctly process words. So in the 3rd grade, I found out that I had this, and I was put into special education classes, which was just me, a desk, and a teacher. And that was it. I was not ever in a room with 30, 20 other kids. It was just me and this teacher, and we would work one-on-one to try to teach me how to understand, how to learn. So in the 3rd grade, I had this 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade. I was in these special education classes. So finally I make it to 6th grade, to middle school. Now I went to school in Lexington. I was born and raised in Lexington, Kentucky. And when I made it to 6th grade, the school system looked at me and said, "We see here that you have dyslexia, and you know, we've been helping you for a while here, but we can't help you anymore. Sorry." And that was it. I mean, I went from going to school and being in a classroom with just me and a teacher to one day they said, "Oh, you know, you're making progress, but we can't afford to help you anymore." So they sent me to regular classes, which was an environment that I had never learned how to learn in. I didn't know how to do it. And in the 6th grade, I still read on a 4th grade reading level because of dyslexia, because this is a part of my brain that I'll forever have. So 6th grade goes by, and I'm working as hard as everyone else in the classroom. While the girl next to me is taking 10 minutes to read her assignment, I'm taking 10 minutes to read mine. But while she's getting A's and B's, I'm getting C's and D's and F's on the same assignment. I figured as if she was taking this amount of time, I should take this amount of time too. Like I said, I had never been in a classroom with other kids before. So halfway through my 6th grade year, I think to myself, I don't care. If the school system doesn't care about my education, if I'm really not worth being invested in and cared about the way I used to be, then I'm not going to care either. I'm not going to waste my time while there are so many other things that I see as important that I could be working on instead of doing my homework. So 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, that was my attitude. I actually went to a performing arts elementary, middle, high school. It spans from 4th grade to 12th grade. It's called SCAPA, School for the Creative and Performing Arts in Lexington. So at the time when I was in 6th grade there, I figured I'm going to become an opera singer. And I'm an opera singer now, which is funny. But at the time I figured I'm going to become an opera singer and I'm never going to have to learn how to read as well as everyone else. that's never going to have to be a skill that I have to ever use in my arsenal. So why not just get by? So finally I make it to my freshman year of high school. And I'll never be able to forget this story because it changed the entire course of my life. So I come into class one day and I sit down in the front row in the middle of the classroom. It's the first week of class in high school. And I sit down and the teacher puts on a movie. It was my government class. She puts on a movie about the executive branch of government. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching it just like everyone else. And then something hits me. And I think it's the Holy Spirit. That's just my interpretation of what happened. But I'm watching this film and I think to myself, that's it. That's what I'm going to do with my life. I'm going to become president of the United States of America. And in that moment, I kind of thought I was going a little crazy because that's a ridiculous idea. I did not see myself as smart enough or wealthy enough or anything enough to become president of the United States. Because I kind of also looked at my track record. I looked at that attitude that I had the entire time I was in 6th grade, where I thought, none of this matters. So I looked back and I thought to myself, well, I can't change my grades. I can't change what I learned or how I learned or anything about my life. Nothing can change. I'm stagnant in that moment. But at the same time, I mean, something in my bones told me, no, that's your goal now. And so I knew that I couldn't change my past, but I also knew that my future was in my hands. That if I got out of my own way, I knew that I could achieve anything if I worked hard, if I changed my own attitude, if I made myself do it. So I did. So my freshman year, sophomore year, junior year of high school, I got all A's. I mean, there was not a time where I was not working on something. But with my dyslexia, there's also a little story that kind of gets hidden in there. When I was a sophomore in high school, I came into class, and amongst all of the A's, this story sticks out because I came into class one day, and the teacher had assigned us 10 pages of reading the night before. And we all come into class, and she says, guys, I assigned you all 10 pages for homework. How long did it take you to complete your assignment? We had no idea why she was asking this, but we all raise our hands, and I'm sitting in the front row, and she calls on the girl in the back. And the girl in the back says, it only took maybe 30 minutes. It was not very hard to do. And I was sitting in the front row, and I brought my hand down, and I looked at the floor, because I was so embarrassed. Because for the first time, I really thought I had the answer wrong. Of all questions, the one question you can't have a wrong answer to, I somehow managed to get the answer wrong. Because had she called on me, I would have said, it took me 3 hours to do my homework. I had to read it and then reread it, and then I tried to read it again, but I still didn't see the words on the page the same way everyone else saw them. I read it for 3 hours and I still don't know what the book says. For 3 hours. So, okay, I make it to my junior year of high school. After all A's, I didn't share my answer that day, mind you. I just let it pass. I figured it doesn't matter. So I finally make it to my junior year of high school after all of these A's. And I go to my mom and I say, Mom, I'm going to graduate high school a year early. That's what I'm going to do. And she looks at me and she says, okay, well, first you have to take your ACT. So when you have a learning disability, you're allowed to go to the people that conduct the ACT and ask them for extra time. Because when you have dyslexia, it takes you 3 hours to do what it takes everyone else 30 minutes to do. So you're allowed to request extra time. So I go to the school system and I say, hey, I know that you guys have my paperwork. You all used to help me with my dyslexia. Is there any way I can get extra time on this ACT? Please, like 10 minutes would do me justice. They looked at me and said, no, we can't help you. He said, but you have my paperwork. You have to help me. I have documentation of this learning disability. You can't just say no. And they said, well, yeah, we can. We're not helping you. Okay. So I figured if there was anybody in that school that could do well on their ACT, it was me. I was at the top of my class. I knew that I was capable. So I go in and I take my ACT, and I come out, get the results a couple weeks later on my phone, and out of 36 points, 20. I got a 20 on my ACT. So I run home to my mom and I say, Mom, not only am I not going to graduate high school a year early, I'm never going to go to college. And when I don't go to college, I'm never going to become president of the United States. That doesn't make any sense. Everything I've worked for didn't matter. I said, Mom, this test score defeated me. This. And she looks at me and she says, the only person that's capable of defeating you is yourself. I said, no, it's the result. They didn't give me extra time. I couldn't have done better. But she said, no. If you stop halfway through achieving your goal, no matter what it looks like the outcome might be, if you stop, the only thing you're promising yourself is failure. The only thing that you can ever achieve from there is failure. So I listened to my mom. I sent in my ACT score to the University of Kentucky, and I only applied to one college. This was the only school that I was going to go to. I knew it. So my results come back in December my junior year, and I'm holding this paper, and I know that inside of it, it says, Dear Clark, sorry you tried, but you weren't good enough. You're not good enough to go here. Sorry. That's what I felt like it was going to say. So go ahead and I open up the letter, and it reads, Dear Clark, congratulations on being accepted to the University of Kentucky. You have received a full scholarship and a stipend. What? I was so excited. I did not think that was going to be my reality. And so I ended up graduating high school a year early, and I graduated at 16, and I went on to start college in that same summer. And so now I kind of just get to look at my whole life. I get to look at where my education has taken me. And I realize that I stand here today and I can talk about all of these things, all of these challenges that people honestly have told me to never tell anyone I have dyslexia, to never tell anyone I was in special ed because that's embarrassing and that's not what a Miss Kentucky does. But I get to stand here today and say because of my work ethic, because of all of those challenges that I faced that I had to overcome mentally, that's how I'm able to stand here today. That's how I'm able to be comfortable with who I am. Because when I was in the 3rd grade and my teachers were telling me, Clark, honey, you're going to have to be in special ed. Clark, you're just not going to be as capable as all of your friends around you. You're going to be different. That girl never thought that she could become this girl. This girl that graduated when she was 16 years old, is doing very well in college. This girl who's Miss Kentucky and can confidently stand in front of a room full of people and say, I want to become President of the United States, and I'm fully capable of doing so. When I was in 6th grade and I had told myself that I wasn't worth it, I never thought that I would be able to get through that. And especially with my dyslexia, so many times kids get kind of sucked into that hole of thinking that they're not worth it. I also kind of want to give you guys an insight to what it's like to have dyslexia, because I have achieved great success as Miss Kentucky, going to UK, I'm doing well at the opera school there, but also I want you guys to know that when you have dyslexia, I said it was neurological. So imagine trying to read more than a paragraph of text. After you read a paragraph and a half, your whole body starts to shut down. My body gets cold to the touch. You can start to see through me. I get cold. My eyes feel as heavy as if I'd been up for 3 days. 3 days straight. You know how when you can't keep your eyes open? That's what it's like to have dyslexia. Your nervous system shuts down. After a paragraph of reading, the things inside your body that keep you warm stop working because all the energy is going to your brain. And so I say all of this to remind you guys that every single person has an obstacle. Every single person has something that other people are going to look at them and say, oh, you can't overcome that. That's pretty much going to define who you are. But that's never the case. People still laugh at me when I tell them I'm going to become president one day. And I let them go ahead and laugh, but I never discount myself. I remind myself that I am worth it, and that through my work ethic, that I can achieve absolutely anything that I set before myself. And so that's what I want to leave you guys with, is thank you for coming and getting your education and just being here, because that's the first step. Half the time people don't get up to come to class. But then beyond that, thank you for reminding yourself that you can do it. By coming back to class, by doing your homework, by studying for your exams. Yeah, it's hard. And there might be somebody else in here that has dyslexia too. And imagine when you're at home and you're trying to do your homework and it takes you 5 hours. It'll take me 3 days. But I'll never let you know that half the time, because I'll do it and I'll know that it's for me. I'll never need somebody else to tell me why I'm working. So thank you all for being here, for coming back to class every day. And I want you all to remember that any goal, no matter if you also want to run against me for president one day, you can achieve that goal no matter what it is and no matter what obstacle you have to overcome. So thank you all so much for having me.
You have a question or two?
Yes,
You
we have
have
a
a question or two?
question.
It's okay, you don't have to be bashful or shy.
I don't.
I didn't think the school system could do that.
They're
Because
not
I worked
supposed
in
to.
the school system.
When you have dyslexia, oftentimes people have exceptionally high IQs. So somehow the school system got it in their mind that if you have a high IQ, it completely discounts the fact that you have a learning disability. So because my IQ was exceptional and the degree of my learning disability was not within a certain range, they completely just discredited the fact that I had dyslexia.
But you proved them wrong.
And I proved them wrong, but I started my own organization it's called the Best Me I Can Be Foundation. So I take in funds and then I appropriate them to schools, to getting teachers tested, or to getting students tested, to getting teachers trained, because no child should ever have to go through that. Because a lot of times kids with dyslexia, after you think to yourself, I'm not worth it, like I did in 6th grade, you never happen to watch a movie and want to become president of the United States. Kids will just flatline and then never even graduate from high school because of that inequality. So I'm working to fix that.
Clark, our mayor of the fine city of Manchester, would like to meet you and
Nice to
present you
meet you.
with a token.
We want to give you a key to this Manchester here.
That's awesome.
And I
Thank
want
you
to,
so much.
what you've taught these kids here, me and you sort of have the same problem. I can't read good. I've never been labeled with nothing, but I can read you a book. I can't understand and tell you what I read. And nothing, no life you can't do without I would be the mayor of Manchester 50 years ago. I mean, honestly, you know, so whatever you,
Thank
you know,
Thank you.
if you work hard, you'll have it.
Yeah, seriously.
Appreciate you doing
Yes,
that.
sir. Thank you.
Let's give. Mayor, yeah.
So he can become mayor, I can still become president. It's
That's
just
right.
it really is the work that you put in. It's hard and it's never fun, but you just have to do it. Yeah.
If you'd like an autographed picture, or if you'd like
Yes.
a picture of yourself.
I'd like to say that I'm president of the chamber, and we're just really pleased and thrilled that you're here.
Thank
And
you.
I think you're a beautiful person inside and out, and that's
Thank
what
you.
it takes.
Thank
And it
you.
takes ambition. You know, you don't let anybody tell you. I didn't graduate from high school, but I almost have a doctor's degree, and I've been a state legislator and an educator for 20 years, and now I own a jewelry store in London. So you can do whatever you want to do.
Thank you.
So you're an example of it, 100%.
Excuse me.
I just want to say both that I both sympathize and empathize with the struggles you have gone through. Sympathize as in, I have 3 younger siblings, and 2 of the youngest have cochlear implants. My sister Iman, who's now 10, couldn't hear until she was 2. My baby brother Maher had his hearing, then lost it. So it was a struggle for us, but how you said during high school, how you overcame it, you had that epiphany that I'm going to be this, and you worked for it. Sympathizing as in we all helped my siblings, especially Iman, because she couldn't eat for 2 years. So if you say when she was 6, her mentality was like a 2-year-old. Now she's 10. She is doing ballet. She's doing soccer. She's in the gifted and talented.
That's awesome.
And she's like, even tells me that her reading comprehension is still like, she's 10, but it's like a 7-year-old or 8-year-old. But she tells me because of all our help that we actually got, that some I see in like sitting hearing speech don't have, says, Neha, Appa, I'm going to be a neurosurgeon when I grow up so I can help the people who don't have hearing get the machines that I finally have.
That's awesome.
Empathizing as in I can also see through your struggles, because I found out I had a brain tumor in my senior year of high school. Now I'm a junior here in college. So I was homebound almost all my senior year. So I actually was depressed, which not many people of course realize it, because I try to keep a happy front for my family and friends. But part of me is like, because I couldn't walk, talking was hard, I couldn't even eat without help. So I needed 24/7 medications and therapies, still going through them. So just going through the motions, and I also had a time where it's like, I don't want to do anything because I don't even have the strength to do it. I feel like to stay in bed because what is there to do?
Yeah.
But with your epiphany, I also had one, and your epiphany was through school. Mine was through my siblings, and I was like, my siblings have cochlear implants, and they went through so much. So if they can go through it, I can go through it and finish my high school and get into college, which I did. I went back to college, went to high school after 4 months of homebound, and I finished my college with my high school with the honors diploma and got into Pennsylvania before I moved here to Eastern.
That's amazing.
So I applaud you for sticking to it.
Yes, and that's the thing. Everybody has a story, and you might not become Miss Kentucky. I'm still not sure how this happened for me. But everybody has a story that needs to be shared, and this, just like yours, you just helped me even realize more about myself by sharing just a tiny bit about yourself. So do not ever be afraid to share your story, because while the person to your right is saying, oh my gosh, that's embarrassing, don't tell anyone, the person to your left is saying, that's just like me, thank you for sharing, now I know I'm not alone. So, thank you. Do we have any more questions? Comments?
Okay, we can get autograph pictures,
Yes.
or do like a picture with Clark. She will
Yes.
take a photo with you, and if otherwise.
And you want the key?
Key in my, yeah. Thank you.
More to look, folks.
You're doing good.
I tell you what, you never looked any better.
Right, you got a good background, though.
We'll get one on both sides. And
No, I didn't.
Yeah. Start on this side, then we'll go to the front.
Oh, thank you.
Now to the front.
Awesome. Thank you.
make sure you're okay with it. I'm not much of a photographer. Yeah, is that okay? Yeah. Good deal.
Got it? Yep.
Mr. Jack Roberts,
Nice to meet you, sir.
Clay County Cruisers Car Club.
Oh, so sure. Here, I'll be sorry. Awesome. Nice to meet you. Hi. Not yet, no.
Sometimes they'll outgrow that.
How you doing?
Chamber President Barbara Coulter getting her picture took with Clark Davis, Miss Kentucky.
You tried, didn't you, Barbara? You tried.
Awesome. Thanks. I'll get my time. I didn't know which one to look for. Hi. I'm good. How are you?
Well.
T-A-Y-L-O-Y.
Yes.
We've had a great day today. We've had Clark Davis, Miss Kentucky 2015 visiting Manchester, Clay County. I spent some time earlier today talking to the students at Clay County High School, and here this afternoon visiting with the students here at Eastern Kentucky University at the Manchester campus. It's been a really great day for Manchester, Clay County and the students here.
It's been fantastic. I'll tell you, it's been an honor for me to be able to do this, if you allowed me to do it. Clark, really nice meeting you.
Yeah, thank you.
One of my favorite uncles named Clark.
We'll be looking forward to voting for you for president.
Absolutely, we will vote for you. And one of my favorite fictitious heroes' name was Clark. He was a reporter, Clark Kent.
Might have heard of him once or twice.
Superman. Hey, you guys have a
Have a
safe,
good evening.
Thank you.
have a safe trip back. Come back and see us soon.
Yes, sir, I will. Yeah, thank y'all.